Welcome back to the Coronavirus and Kansas Small Business Survival video series. I'm Matt DeSarl, and today I'm joined by Brienne Durham, who owns multiple businesses under one roof in Johnson County. Brienne, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and thanks for asking me to be here.
Of course. So I always like to sort of begin this video series by asking the business owner what he or she does under normal circumstances. So could you please explain the three businesses that you have there? And it's Lenexa, right?
Yeah, Lenexa, Kansas. So I have a doggy daycare and boarding called Camp Pup Away. I also own a dog training company called Sit Now Stay, and I own a dog sports company called The Dog Pool.
And Brianne, I find this especially relevant to this conversation. Can you kind of let viewers know about your medical background as well? Your medical
Oh, sure,
qualifications?
absolutely. Yeah, so my background's actually, I have a background in veterinary medicine, particularly board certified in emergency and critical care medicine.
What changes is your operation making, or what's maybe the most major change that your operation is making? Obviously, hygiene is on top of mind for everyone, and I know that that's part of your normal business. But what's maybe the biggest shift?
Well, the reason I wanted to open Camp Pupway, the boarding and daycare, is I wanted a really safe place for animals to go that was above standards for any other boarding and training and daycare facility. So we put in very special protocols for our hygiene and cleaning the facility and whatnot. So since COVID-19 has shown its ugly face, we've had to ramp up that even more. And to say the least, it makes us kind of burn the late night hours pretty regularly now.
Do you find yourself doing the social distancing rules with dogs, for lack of better terms, where you're separating them by 6 feet or more?
No, not for the dogs. We're continuing normal operations of doggy play and things like that. Human to human, absolutely. We've incorporated, curbside service. We no longer take personal items from people. We use our own equipment. Each dog that comes into the facility actually gets a really nice thorough wipe down. And then before they leave, they get another wipe down to go back safely to its owners. So I wouldn't say that we're worried much about the dogs transmitting from one to another, but we are wiping them down and cleaning them up before they get into play groups.
So you sent me some information before this interview from health officials talking about how they haven't found that coronavirus, that dogs can be a carrier of coronavirus, but they haven't altogether ruled it out yet either. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, I think the best way to say this is we've obviously been watching this really close because of the risk that are involved in taking care of other people's pets and whatnot. And the biggest thing to know is coronavirus is not a new topic for me. This is something we actually deal with in felines and canines alike. It's just those coronaviruses that are in those dogs and cats don't transfer necessarily over to people. And even coronavirus as the large family of viruses that it is, some cause illness in people and some don't. So what we wanted to make sure was, can COVID-19 infect our pets? And in turn, can those pets infect us? And according to the CDC, they have no evidence of that happening right now.
And the misinformation train on this entire story is off the charts. I remember hearing weeks ago that dogs can carry this disease, that dogs can carry this virus, and that they can transfer it to people. What sort of misinformation have you seen from your customer base?
So we've heard that quite a bit, that animals can transmit it to people. We've heard that animals are what called a foam mite, meaning the disease can travel on their hair and paws and everything like that, and then in a sense that can give it to owners. And then we've also been told that there was evidence that animals that were being imported and animal products that were being imported into the country suggested that they were a risk of spreading COVID-19. The CDC has confirmed that they have no evidence of companion animals spreading COVID-19, and they have zero evidence of any imported animals or animal products spreading COVID-19.
Wow. You mentioned a moment ago you have extensive experience with coronavirus set with your medical background. Can you kind of delve into that a little further?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's something that we've tracked in bats and cats and dogs, and it's been in the history of us owning domestic animals as a possible disease that an animal can contract. And there has been vaccines in the past for it. So it's the coronavirus family by far is not anything new or novel to humans, but unfortunately COVID-19 is. And it's just a new strand of it. And I think a lot of people are very confused by that, because I see a lot of people taking a picture of their Lysol can and saying, hey, this takes care of coronavirus. it, yes, in the sense it does. However, that's speaking of the coronavirus of a family, it's not speaking about every strand that's out there. So what we found out from the CDC is the best means of sanitizing against COVID-19 particularly is the store-bought alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and also hydrogen peroxide.
So, in your previous work history, you were a vet at an animal hospital. Am I remembering that? Remembering?
A vet tech at numerous specialty hospitals, and that's actually across the United States. I've been a part of those, and for a while it was my job to travel across the U.S., visiting different hospitals and talking about basically burnout, for lack of a better word, and working on efficiency and hospital protocols, and a lot of that actually included sanitation protocols.
Did you see an equivalent, anything like this, where coronavirus was affecting animals and it was like a bad flu season equivalent for pets?
No, I don't think coronavirus has been as huge of a threat to pets in the past as some others. We frequently test hospitals for a lot of different viruses and a lot of different bacteria. And I will say coronavirus is probably not on the top of the list in the history of the hospitals that I have been to. We were looking more so for MRSA and MRSI and things along those lines. It's just we need to be aware of the history. SARS and MERS were both diseases caused by coronavirus that originated in animals and spread to people. And we need to be aware of that history to know that this is a real thing and we need to take it serious. So the warnings that we put out saying, okay, the CDC has no evidence here, they're approving anything. Great. I'm so happy to hear that news, but that doesn't mean that you're lazy about your protocols.
What's the maximum amount of dogs you may have under your roof at one time?
Normally, we are aiming for about 50 daycare dogs a day. Unfortunately, with the recent events, we're about somewhere between, we're somewhere between about 2 to 5 dogs a day at this point.
And wow, so business has been hit pretty hard here.
It was fairly heartbreaking. March is a very exciting month for us because we have spring break and the dogs that board with us regularly come, but then we have some that don't board with us regularly, only during holidays. So we're excited to see all of them come. And we had a 94.7% cancellation over spring break.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow.
Yeah, it was eerie how quiet the hallways were.
Yeah. I hate to compare my own children to pets and dogs, but
We all do it.
for me as a professional, I mean, we have a 2 and a 4-year-old at home, and my wife and I we're just not able to get work done. I mean, it's not, I'm sure a lot of people are in the same boat. So I would foresee there still being a need for the daycare services. If I were a customer, do you think that there's just a lot of fear out there and people are just staying at home, or do your services not fall under the essential services, or what's going on there?
We do fall under essential services, and we do have a lot of medical providers and people who are still required to go to work. They are bringing in their dogs. And the opposite side of that, the other extreme, is we have a lot of great clients who are home, working from home, and they're still choosing to bring their dog in out of pure just wanting to support us. And obviously our our hearts are filled with love when we see that happen.
Yeah, I guess my assumption is that that ratio would be higher just because people are still, from a practical sense, they're still working, and
Yeah.
I know that that's a large percentage of the profile of your customer, right? Under normal circumstances.
Yeah, and I think we're still early in the game. I think we have two things going on here. The fear, the financial fear that I think we're all facing is how long is this going to last, and is my emergency savings going to, last out this? So we may be a little bit tighter on our pennies, which is a great smart move to make. And then the other one is it's still, I think, fairly early in um, the shelter protocols, that maybe people are tolerating, for lack of a better word, their dog being home right now. But we had somebody drop off today and said that if he interrupts one more video conference, I'm not going to be able to have a job. So we are seeing it. I think it may increase here over the next couple of days, but I think for the most part, because there are so many unknowns, that people are just trying to make the best decisions they can at the moment.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let's dip into an optimistic streak here real quick. I mean, while you may have downtime or just kind of different looking work time right now, being hopeful that there will be a summer camp season for the doggies. Are you able to plan for that a little more, or just in general, maybe under ideal circumstances, if we all recover and in the summertime you have a normal business here, what does summer camp for the doggies look like in 2020?
Yeah, that's exciting that you brought that up, because we actually had a little video powwow today with all the employees and got some more ideas that we can do for the dogs this summer. You saw it for yourself. We have a huge enclosed indoor pool. We've actually modified that to be a little bit more friendly for the different size dogs, I'll say. So we got our shorter leg dogs and our taller dogs. It's going to be easy for them to access the pool. And we've brainstormed a couple of craft projects that we've done for the dogs, and we're pretty excited to launch those this summer. And so it should be a really amazing summer. And although this it's a heartbreaking time, it's allowed my staff to kind of rekindle a little bit of energy and optimism, and we are all trying to keep the faith here that it's going to turn around quick and that everything's going to go back to the way we hope it will be.
Well, Brienne, best of luck. I really hope to see you on better terms here down the road, and that the doggies will be swimming in the pool this summer, and things will be back to normal. But in the meantime, best of luck to you, and thank you for all your expertise today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, absolutely. And if you're watching this and you're a small business owner wanting to contribute to this video series, please email me directly at mattydmedia@gmail.com. That's MATTY, as in dog, doggies, right? Pun intended. mattydmedia@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.